All right, this is Introduction to Computers, BCA 101. And this was Monday. We talked about networks. We finished up a few items, and then we started security. We went through the project and see if there's any questions, some final comments, and we have the skills-based assessment on the project on Wednesday or Thursday, depending which class you are. We talked about cloud computing. We talked about virtual private networks. I'll show you an example of that here in a little bit. And we talked about voice over IP. You can make telephone calls over an IP network, and you can secure a connection over an IP network. We talked about organizational. We talked about intranets, like my NIACC is an intranet for both faculty, students, and staff here at the college. And then if we allowed, let's say, another college to get into our intranet to do specific things, maybe another community college like DMACC or Kirkwood, then you would call that an extranet. A lot of companies do that. They do their internal communications with an intranet. People know how to run browsers, and allows them an easier way to get to the resources they need rather than to go to a certain drive and so forth. And then when other companies need some of that same information, you can allow them access through a password or some means to get to that particular information. We talked about the whole range of communications: texting, chat, email, blogging, etc., etc., etc. Talk a little bit about the value of that and how it's used. All right. Then we move to security, and I'll talk about that here in a second. I'm going to go to the next page. Make a point on a few things we just mentioned. For example, a VPN. You can create a virtual private network. You can set that up, let's say, from Mason City, and have a secured connection to maybe a store in Waterloo. You could even run voice across, something similar to that. Even though the packets get switched through the internet, the fact that they're encrypted allows this to be secured. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the security section. Alright. We did an introduction to information security. How are we going to secure the data? How are we going to secure it? 3 different major areas. First of all, can we trust the data? Is it true? Has it not been changed? So that would be the integrity of the data. Who gets to see which data? Who sees what? Confidentiality. We've got to make data available. It's got to be available. So then we have to decide, if we're going to make it available, who's going to see what, and we have to make sure it doesn't get changed. We have to do that whether the data is stored, whether it's in transit, or while it's being processed. This is the crutch of security. This right here. And we'll talk a lot about that over the next couple sessions. So an example we used, you want to contact your bank from home, and here's your bank, and you're using some type of online banking. You want to make sure the information is correct as it moves through the cloud. You want to make sure only the right people see it as it moves through the cloud, and you like the convenience of that online banking being available. All right. Well, that's it for today.